Welcome to Buy, Hold, Sell. My name's Matthew Kidman and I'm joined today by Michael Wayne from Medallion Financial and Henry Jennings from Marcus Today. And we're going to go discovering. Go and find those stocks, those small stocks that no one knows about. First one, Audinate. In the music game, sound systems, been a boom stock, buy, hold or sell.
I've got a buy on this one. Essentially, they're selling 5 times as many products as the nearest competitor. They're growing their market share very nicely. They're looking to move from the audio-visual to the digital and the video side of things, which potentially increases their market share. So it's an exciting business, recently raised a fair bit of money, 20 mil, and that can help them drive the story even further to other parts of the world. Some very high-quality customers using their products, so a buy is an emerging business there.
We're all listening to a lot of music these days and these guys have cornered their market. Buy, hold or sell?
I'm a buy. Having said that, they have run really hard, this stock. So valuation may take a little while to catch up with reality, or reality might take a little while to catch up with valuation. But they are, as Michael says, in the right space, the right time. Digital audio networking. They've got a lot of good partners, the Bose, the Yamahas of this world. They're growing strongly. They've got capital. They seem to have the right technology in their Dante platform, which they're rolling out and improving all the time. So it's a buy from me, but they have run hard. That's my only concern.
Okay, let's stick with the term digital signature. I signed this, been another boom stock. Buy, hold or sell?
It's a buy from me. I think it's the missing piece, and I think we saw that with Afterpay recently when they came into problems with AUSTRAC in terms of money laundering and know your client. I signed this are the guys that can do digital ID verification really quickly, really simply. It's being mandated. They've got great European partners. They're even listed in Frankfurt. They're dual listed as well. So I think it's a quality story in a good space, and it is the missing piece that these buy now, pay later guys and all these emerging neobanks need, is to know your client and get the identity right and make sure there's no anti-money laundering issues at play. So I think this is a buy.
We don't want anti-money laundering issues in any company, but there's a lot of goodwill attached to this company, which is, maybe just close to break even. Buy, hold or sell?
Yeah, I've got a buy on this one as well. It's a very interesting business in that it started off just focusing on businesses that are regulated AFSLs, so looking at things like CFD providers, binary options, currency, forex, all that sort of stuff. And they started off just purely that know your customer style business, but they've evolved into one of these neobanks looking to provide not only identification but e-deposits. They're also looking at payment processing now. They're in discussions with the likes of Amex and Diners Club as well, so they could very much have an integrated platform which surpasses many of the big 4 banks. So very exciting business, so I've got to buy on that one.
Okay, this used to shoot space junk, now they sell stuff to the military.
That's right.
Electrical Optical System Holdings, just to give it a hard name, buy, hold or sell?
Look, I've probably got a hold on this one. They've won a lot of contracts recently. Their revenues are looking like they're going to jump up significantly, but the question is whether or not that can be sustained going forward, or whether it's going to be quite lumpy. It's involved, as you say, in shooting space junk, or at least monitoring it out in space.
We all do about that, don't we?
Yeah, from time to time. Also involved in the military and things like gun turrets and lasers, which are involved in that process. But look, I don't think it's as solid as the other two at this point. The management team, I will say, has some overlap with Audio Pixels. And Audio Pixels is a business which has really drummed up a lot of broker interest, a lot of market support, built up liquidity in the share price from not much. So they might be able to do the same thing here, and I think we're seeing the early signs of that. Whether or not the product can be delivered at the end of the day is another question.
It's always been coming with EOS. Is it here now, and is it a buy, hold or sell?
I think it's still to come, but I think it's a buy from me. These guys make sexy sites, basically. They're into counter drones as well now, and it's a big market, and we're seeing at the moment some very significant M&A activity in the US between some big players, and these guys have got cutting edge technology. They're building a plant in the US so they can kind of get around that, oh, we're Australian, no we're not, we're actually producing in the US. So I think it's a pretty good story, but it is lumpy. It tends to, interest waxes and wanes. It's not very liquid, so it tends to go for 6 months without doing anything. Then it comes out with some really good results, then it jumps up 50 cents or $1. And I think we're going to continue to see that announcement-driven share price as opposed to research-driven, because there's not a lot of people that follow it.
Okay, you've been looking around, discovering. What have you discovered for us? What's one stock?
There's one stock I like, which is Max 7 Technology. M7T is the code. It always gets complicated when you have numbers coming into codes, but these guys are providing digital data management for hospitals, and this is something that's becoming more and more necessary for hospitals because they need to have all those records to be able to be accessed by doctors at all times. So they've been picking up some good contracts recently. They're only a tiddler, they're only $70 million market cap, but they have been doing quite well recently, picking up some good contracts, and they're starting to make some good inroads. So I think this is one to watch as we move towards a world where a doctor can pick up an iPad, and that's what they have, all the records there in high definition, and these guys should be at the forefront of that.
All right, Michael, what have you found on your treasure hunt?
So Elmo, the HR software providers, so it's a business that's not too dissimilar to Xero in its business model, software as a service. There's a lot of management and founder involvement still on the board level, but also at the shareholding level. I think the board, as well as founders, own more than 40% of this business. They've got a couple of very large customers, people like the ATO, for instance, Macquarie University, etc. But it's really the smaller to medium-sized businesses that they're targeting, between 50 and 200 employees, because at the moment they've got about 9% of the market share. They are growing their market share, which is impressive. But what we really like about them is the fact that they've got current customers using sort of 2.5, 3 out of 13 of their modules in their offerings. So the idea is they can cross-sell to those existing customers as well as go out and find new customers and grow organically that way. So Elmo is one to keep on the list. The liquidity is not that great at the moment, but there is certainly interest starting to build.
On our journey of discovery, we found a field of dreams.